Alright guys, what is going on today? Welcome back to the channel. In this video, we're installing our competition stage 2 clutch that we got for the Genesis Coupe. This is it right here. That's the old stuff. So there's the new flywheel for the Genesis Coupe. There's the new pressure plate on top of the new clutch. So you can see the difference between the competition flywheel and the ACT flywheel. There's way more surface area here than it is on here. So this will probably help us as well. And there's the old clutch disc, which is all mucked up. Look at that difference. That's a big difference. This is so tiny, that's huge. And there's the pressure plate as well, which is much different than that one. So right now, transmission's out. We got our release bearing right here. There's the new one we ordered. So we're gonna install this one. We did this one about 20,000 kilometers ago, but we're gonna replace it anyways, so we have the transmission already out. This one is still good, but from the looks of it, oh damn, it squirted. So we're cleaning up the bell housing right now. Then we're gonna put the clutch kit on and bolt up the transmission back up. So let's get to it. Yo, rev that sheep. Jeez! Alright, so everything's cleaned up inside there. We got the new one installed. There's 7 foot-pounds of torque for the 310 mils. And now we're installing the flywheel. So get brake cleaner and clean out the surface only, since there is oil on there. Alright, so we got some brake cleaner. We're just cleaning up the metal surfaces that are gonna touch. We're gonna do it on the flywheel and the pressure plate. It's got shiny that got all of a sudden. Jeez! So make sure you align the flywheel up properly. You can see there's an extra hole right there that goes on the crankshaft. There you go. So I'm putting the bolts on. Remember, they're 94 foot-pounds for the bolts and go in a star pattern. So you put some thread lock on our flywheel bolts. We're gonna put them in now. All right, so we got all the 7 bolts on. Now we're gonna torque it down to 94 foot-pounds. All right, so we did our technique. We put the screwdriver through here. We got our pry bar. We held down the splines, and then we torqued each individual bolt down. All right, so have it held like this, putting a pressure on it. It's better with 2 people, and it's gonna torque it. So flywheel is fully secured, 94 foot-pounds of torque. And now we're gonna get on to putting grease on the clutch and the splines of the transmission. And then we're gonna put the clutch on here with the pressure plate. All right, so this is the closest thing we got to clutch grease because we don't have any others. We're using brake lubricant. We're gonna use very little amount. All right, so we're putting the lube all over the spline, the input shaft, and we're gonna put some on the clutch as well. We're gonna slide it in and out. And make sure you clean up any excess grease. So see all that? Make sure you clean up all that extra stuff right there. Otherwise it's gonna get in the friction, it's gonna contaminate it, and make sure you clean up the excess on the spline as well. So after we lubed up the splines and everything, we're gonna install the clutch now. All right, so we noticed that the pressure plate goes one way only. We didn't see that. Make sure you line up the holes properly. Otherwise, it's not gonna go on. We kind of missed that, but that's okay. So now we're gonna try putting the clutch back on. All right, so we got the pressure plate in. So watch out for these little areas here. You gotta make sure they all line up properly. You're in up there and up there. They only go one way. So make sure you line that up correctly. All right, so these are the bolts that came with it for the pressure plate. They have washers on them. Make sure you put them on. And then we're gonna snug them in a cross pattern. And then we're gonna torque it down to 24 to 26 foot-pound of torque. So the Gen Coupe website says 26 foot-pound of torque. ACT says 24. We're going the best of both worlds. We're doing 25. We're just snugging the bolts in. You can see the gap closing in. Jeez. Now we're gonna start torquing each of them. We gotta go in the star pattern. So clutch is finally done. Jeez, look at that thing. All torqued down. Anyways, this is part 1 of us installing the clutch. Now in part 2, we're gonna put the transmission on. It's gotten a bit dark outside. I'm trying to go home. So we gotta put the transmission back on. On top of that, we gotta put the steel braided clutch line on too, which we're gonna do tomorrow. So once that goes on, transmission goes on, we're gonna bleed the line and then we'll be blessed. And while I'm up there, I'm gonna install these manifold bolts because my manifold bolts are loose and they're coming off. So we're gonna install these while I'm up there. So anyways, thanks for watching. Please comment, like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more videos to come.